Finally, we're here at the bottle ship, which is the main area of the game.
Let's see if we can actually physically start playing and not sitting through cutscenes.
What's this about? Did I push a button? Is this game in the first person? What? Wait, I selected this? What the hell was I supposed to look for? All right, fundamental flaw number, I don't fucking know. Search segments. What happens during these segments is the game freezes you in first person and you have to look around at some nondescript part of the screen in order to initiate a cutscene or following sequence.
That's really dumb. Isn't Metroid supposed to be about finding things out on your own? I mean, it's okay to have a little signpost along the way to help direct you in case you get lost, but this literally freezes you and won't let you continue until you spot the exact thing that they want you to see. That's not Metroid, that's fucking shit!
The worst part about it is that the thing you're supposed to look for is usually a small fraction of the screen, not something that would catch your eye immediately, so you end up spending forever just looking around wondering what it is you're supposed to be looking for, and then accidentally pick it out.
The logic is flawed and these segments are entirely unnecessary. One, let's pretend that I'm looking in the first person here on the couch. Okay, so we're here on the couch. There's the TV, couch, my shades right there, and my little stool. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here except, oh, what's that? What is that? I can't, oh. Oh, it's Dixie Kong. Well, look at how small she is. How could I have noticed that all the way from the couch? Two, if Samus was walking around and saw something weird, why doesn't she just fucking look at it? Alright, so let's say I'm looking over here around the palace and I see something that catches my eye. Oh, those sneakers. I just look at it, right? But by the logic of this game, I would stop, look around for what I wanted to see, and then I'd zoom in and see what I already saw. That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's not like I forgot what I saw. These search segments just slow down the gameplay simply to slow it down.
Plus, it takes the exploration away from the players. Take a look at this shot right here. I'm running up the ramp in the docking bay. I notice that there's a ship with some kind of insignia on it. There you go. I made that discovery myself, and I'm asking questions myself and coming up with theories myself. Here, you stop, look for it, and oh, it's the Galactic Federation. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for ruining the suspense.
I'm not a moron, you know.
Fancy meeting you here, princess. Remember me?
Oh hey, it's Anthony Higgs, the first black character in a Metroid game. You see, we Metroid fans have an interesting relationship with him, because when the original trailer premiered at E3, his character was the source of a lot of speculation and theories. Who was this guy? Remember me? No. Nobody did. The forums were blowing up about who this guy was, and in fact, a popular speculation was that it was actually Armstrong Houston.
Armstrong Houston was the main supporting character in the Super Metroid Nintendo Power comic in 1994. He's basically just another bounty hunter who helps Samus out and is alluded to having romantic feelings towards her.
Even though the Nintendo Power comic isn't canon, it's funny how crazy devoted Metroid fans are to the point where they would remember this one-off character from a rather lackluster comic. What else is pretty interesting is that the character that ended up being in this game, Anthony Higgs, has the initials AH. That's the same as Armstrong Houston. So it's cool to see the folks at Team Ninja throwing in a little allusions to things that only hardcore Metroid fans will get.
Hey, and your buddy's here too.
Adam Malkovich.
Oh, hey, look, it's Adam Malkovich. Remember the commanding officer from the Metroid manga and also talked about in Metroid Fusion? Is this going to be the game where we find out what happened between Samus and Adam? No. No, it isn't. Spoiler alert.
So, blah, blah, blah. Samus left Adam's command because of menstruation or some crap. By the way, how does Chozo handle menstruation? Like, does Samus's Chozo DNA change the way her cycles work? Zebes has 2 moons, and since a woman's cycle is codependent with lunar cycles, does that mean that 2 moons means 2 periods a month? Is it double the Tampax? Was part of the DNA infusion process sterilizing Samus's reproductive system? If the Chozo wanted to craft her into a weapon, wouldn't that help to mitigate any potential for objection? Wait, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, the game.
You know, those questions just got me thinking. I remember that a big selling point during the marketing phase of this game was that we get to find out more about Samus's backstory and her character, but come to think of it, we don't learn anything. This game tells us a bunch of shit we already know. Spoiler alert.
Adam hadn't authorized it.
Oh no.
Chip?
Uh-uh.
Chip, settle down.
Nuh-uh.
Chip, it's just a video game. It has no will over you.
Famous last words, Eve. It's not just a video game. It's It's the most recent entry into the Metroid series, 5 years ago, and it's leaving a bad taste in the mouth of Metroid fans everywhere. Well, I guess I should address the white elephant in the room and talk about the authorization process. Here's the issue with Adam authorizing everything. Fuck everybody, stop whining.
No, I'm going to be fair. I have some notes, or more than some. Okay, number one. Every fucking fanboy gets their panties in a wad about Adam having to authorize everything, even though Samus already has everything and could save a lot of time by just using her full abilities. But the fanboys are dumb and they're not smart like me. There's more to it than that.
Think of it from the standpoint of the developers working on this game, alright? They need to make a game, and they can't have Samus magically lose her power-ups like she did in Metroid Prime. So the solution to that problem is to have Adam authorize it. Well, that's dumb. I misspoke before, fanboys. You were right. There are lots of fun things about Metroid. I'm not going to take the time to list all of them, but the two that I'm getting at are exploration and reward.
During the infant stages of Metroid's development, journalists often talk about it being a mix of Zelda's exploration and use of items with Mario's smooth platforming. I think this is an effective marriage of elements. You take a game like Legend of Zelda, which at its core is a game about exploring caves and finding awesome items in them. Metroid is similar, but different. What makes Metroid so fun is that you're thrust into a world unique and stimulating both visually and auditorily. The more you explore this world, the more engrossed you become in it, and the more engrossed you become, the more items you find. It's a reward for straying off the beaten path, for investigating your surroundings. One day you're like, I wonder what's up there. I can't go up there, it's too high. Then you get an item from a boss that makes you jump infinitely, and you're like, hey, I got this awesome item from this boss. Oh shit, maybe I should use it to explore up there. And then you go and you find the plasma beam, and you're like, oh man, I'm so glad I backtracked here because now I have this new badass power-up. Or like this part where you're like, there's an orange door there. I don't have any weapons yet that can open an orange door. And then you get the power bomb and you can open orange doors and you're like, wait, there was that other orange door I saw in Red Brinstar. Now I can see what's over there. And then you go explore and you can find the X-ray scope, an item that is not needed to play the game, but makes searching for items and passages way easier. There's this general understanding that if you use the clues that the game gives you and arrive to your own conclusion about what's needed, then follow through with that discovery, you'll be rewarded. In Metroid Other M, you just get power-ups authorized. There's no sense of exploration or reward. In Metroid Prime, you beat a boss, you get an item. That's the way it works. You beat the boss, here's an item. Good job! The next boss will be even tougher, but that's okay, because you'll get an even better item with a couple exceptions. It's the difference between wanting that Jackson Custom Shop Goldflake Rhodes that's identical to the one that Vinnie Vincent used during the Creatures of the Night tour with Kiss, and working forever just to afford it, then you buy it and it's awesome, and then just having it in a closet somewhere and you get to play it when your dad says it's okay.
Where's the sense of wonder and awe? Where's the sense of uncovering the mysteries of an alien planet, man? That's not here. Sure, there are expansions and stuff around, but it's not the same. It's not.
The upgrades just show up when it's convenient. Oh, I'm fighting Grimace and he's got these arms that you can freeze. Too bad I can't use my missiles to blow them off. Oh wait, now I can. Thanks, Adam. Oh no, there's these flying fire things and my normal beam doesn't do anything on them. If only I had some kind of ice beam. Oh wait, now I can! Thanks, Adam! The lazy way that the game goes about pacing this and creating a sense of need for the power-ups is simply giving you a brief period of time where you have to fight the enemies without it. Now, there is this inherent sense of, I wish my weapon was more powerful, but that's to be expected with any kind of adventure game. The aha moment comes from when we get the thing that we needed after we've realized that we've needed it for a while. Like, take this part in Super Metroid, where you go down to Red Brinstar and there are these rippers strewn about. The nearest ledge is too high. You can't jump that high. But if we were to freeze these rippers, if we froze the rippers, then we could use them as little platforms and go to the east end of the map that we haven't explored yet, where there's an orange door that we can now open.
There's a reason why so many scholars have written about Super Metroid and why it's essentially perfect from a game developing standpoint. Because it is. It gives the player the pieces to the puzzle, but it's up to them to figure out how they go together.
Here's another problem with authorization. You see, now the reason why bounty hunters exist in this universe is because the Federation is still relatively new. Back in the year 2003 of the Cosmos, the Federation was formed from a bunch of different planets, all collaborating and helping each other out. Then the space pirates came along and started seizing ships, stealing stuff, and generally causing a ruckus. The pirates became too spread out into deep space to fight with the Federation police alone, so they started contracting bounty hunters, or space hunters, who were equipped with better weapons and better resources. Think of the space hunters kind of like the Spectres in Mass Effect. Spectres are valuable because they can skirt the lines of the law without too much negative repercussion. They can operate under their own jurisdiction but answer directly to the Council. The same goes for bounty hunters in the Metroid universe. They can go about completing the task however they want so long as they accomplish the mission. Therefore, Adam authorizing the use of certain weaponry is a bit of a fallacy. That negates the whole point of having a bounty hunter on your team. If this game functioned by the laws established by the universe, Samus would be like, fuck you, and blast her way through the bottle ship, because that's why she's an asset. The next cutscene gives a little more insight into the relationship between Samus and Adam, and to be fair, it actually does a nice job of establishing character.
Hey, don't get me wrong, it's no Coppola, but the way that Samus explains her feelings towards Adam and the Federation are, as strange as it may sound, they're kind of relatable. I'm sure that most of us probably haven't had our parents brutally slaughtered by a group of space pirates, but I'm sure that we have all felt like we had something to prove because of whatever disposition, whether it be age or maybe even if you have a disability as far as learning or physical disability. And I'm sure that many of us had had a supervisor or a teacher or a coach, whatever, who we felt understood us more than anybody else ever could.
In the face of his well-meaning behavior and that of the other soldiers, my response was to become increasingly bitter.
You see, I think that's something that we can all relate to, being young and angsty. Sure, it's not the most inspired approach to take with this character, but it shows depth. By looking at the type of woman she was in the past versus now, it shows growth from a character standpoint. It's not bad.
But you know what is bad? This.
Confession time. Because I was so young when I lost both of my parents, there's no question I saw Adam as a father figure.
Nope! Everybody, just settle down, okay? We can handle this. Now, just because something doesn't match your expectations doesn't make it a bad thing. I think that's a valid point. But she had 2 fucking father figures!
Yeah, remember? You guys probably don't, but Yoshio Sakamoto might, you know, the main creative director of this game. You'd think he'd remember the fucking manga that he wrote where Samus has 2 Chozo scientists who, along with Mother Brain, help raise her, Oji-chan, or Old Bird, and Grey Voice.
If the manga is supposed to be canon and the writer of the manga also wrote the game, where the hell does that leave us?
At no point in the game does Samus say anything about her Chozo upbringing or being raised on Zebes or trained in combat. The only backstory that this game, which boasts it's riddled with, gives us is that Samus worked for the Federation. Breaking fucking news!